We got plant mail. So I got a new DISCHIDIA in the mail because the seller said that this was a different type of DISCHIDIA. Oh my God, she included a free cutting. I'm telling you, there is something about that Facebook page. I love, love, love buying from there. Oh my God. If it was a company that sponsored, you would think I'm being sponsored. Gosh, but it's just, it is so awesome that they include free cuttings. Are you kidding? Like, you just don't expect it, but the fact that they do most of the time, it is so awesome. Oh my God, look how pretty. I have a Singulatus Borneo, but the leaves I think are, it's the round type, not the, like, this long. Even if I did have it already, it's so awesome. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, so the plant I ordered was a DISCHIDIA ovata, but it's a different type of DISCHIDIA. I'm going to insert just a screenshot of what she said in the group. And it has a peduncle, I believe. Could be a peduncle or a growth point, not sure, but seems like it's a clone of the regular ovata. The coloring shows how different they are from the one stripe to the regular ovata. So now I officially have all three of them. And this one is super sun stressed. I couldn't resist. It was $3 a node, and they actually gave me a better deal than that, so I'm super happy. I think I'm going to, hold on, hope you can see it there. I think I'm going to root it in tree fern fiber. I know a lot of people root in moss, but I hate moss roots. Like, I hate having to take out the roots from moss. So I think I'm going to do tree fern fiber. Tree fern fiber can be a little expensive, but I don't use it a lot. So the bag that I bought, it's the only bag I've bought, and it has lasted me forever. Now, if you have like seedlings or like plants in a larger scale that where you're using tree fern fiber all the time, then it can get a little expensive. But yeah, this looks to have two peduncles, which is awesome. So let me go ahead and grab some tree fern fiber, see how I'm going to plant this. Be right back. All right, so I got some tree fern fiber mixed with a little bit of perlite for my DISCHIDIA, and then I got some perlite for my Singulatus. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put...
Is this a bad game?
No, buddy.
It's a good game.
Yes. I'm going to put my Singulatus in here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put it in my cabinet because I have a spider mite situation in my cabinet. I have been on top of it doing the treatment as it says 7 to 8 days, but I don't know what's going on in there. So I've been cautious to put anything that I really care about in there. Whatever's in there already, it's in there already. So whatever, but I don't want to put anything new in there and just have more plants to have to take care of with spider mites. All right, so Singulatus is done. And I'm going to do my DISCHIDIA. Let's see. I was going to remove the lower leaves, but I feel terrible doing that. So I'm just going to clamp it here. Secure it. And that should be good and stable. I cannot see. All right, so there's the DISCHIDIA. And I wanted to show you the DISCHIDIAs that I do have because I don't think I've shown them on my YouTube at least. So this is the DISCHIDIA one stripe. I pulled it out of my cabinet because I have a stronger light outside my cabinet and I want to sun stress the leaves, and it is working. and it's growing beautifully outside the cabinet. Actually, I think it's growing a lot faster. And then I have my DISCHIDIA ovata, or watermelon. And this one has been through some things because it had spider mites and the leaves kept falling off. But I kept treating it and I wrapped it around the pot. And now it's got so many growth points. It's got at least 4 or 5 new growth points. So that is super awesome. And my plan is that when it gets a little longer that I can propagate it, I want to cut it and just have a separate one under a stronger light that I can sun stress. And let me show you the Undulattas that I already have. So this is the Undulattas that I have. I think it is different because the leaves are like chubby instead of like long and skinny like this one. So they might be different. They look a lot like, but they might be different. Either way, I love this plant. It has like a purple hue when the leaves are coming out, and it's really silver. And I got this one as a 2-leaf cutting, and it's been growing. It's a little slow, but it's been growing. So it's awesome. If I have 2 of them, that's fine with me. But yeah, we added some plants to the collection today. I'm very excited to see my DISCHIDIA collection grow. I want to sun stress them, and I want to display them really pretty in my house. So hopefully I don't kill them. So it's a new day, and I have a couple of plants to water. And because I use rainwater, I have to go outside. And I don't go outside without sunscreen, ever. So I'm putting on some sunscreen, and I'm gonna get some rainwater, add some fertilizer, and just fill up some water reservoirs. This is the fertilizer I use. I've been using this for several years, honestly. I started collecting plants in 2020, and this is the only fertilizer I've ever used. I got it at a local nursery in Rhode Island. And I've had this for a while. I usually put this on my fiddle leaf fig, but I have not been using it for the plant. Honestly, I've been neglecting that plant, so I've been adding it to my waterings. Doesn't hurt my plants so far, and everybody's doing fine. Quick update on my HOYA LIMA from my HOYA collection video. Wow, what a difference when you get a plant that is established and rooted, a difficult plant that is rooted versus a cutting that you have to root yourself and get it up and running yourself. This came right in this pond little cup, and it grew this brand new vine And it's also growing another vine right at the end of this one, and it's doing wonderful. I just water it when it's completely dry, and I only keep the water about up to here. It has too much right now, so I'm going to dump some of it, but I'm afraid to even repot this because it's just doing so good. Love, love, love this plant. I really wanted this plant to do good in my house. And this is my Hoya Bella, which is working on a peduncle. So that should be opening up pretty soon. But it doesn't need to be watered. Somebody told me that when it's working on a peduncle that they're pretty thirsty, so I've been making sure to keep it always watered, not over watering it, but checking on her constantly to make sure she doesn't dry out too much. Oh my god, do you see? Look at the roots on my Wilbur Graves silver. This thing is growing like crazy, and it does not care to have the roots in the water reservoir. As you can see, they look amazing, and they've been sitting on the water reservoir. Yeah, this plant is doing really good. My pride and joy, my black velvet Eastern Panama cross with red crystallinum, went through some things. I don't know what happened to the new leaf. I think my pest spray might have hurt the new growth, but the way I see it is I'd rather sacrifice a leaf or two if it means to control any pests that I have going on. And it's looking a little crazy right now because I sprayed it again last night. I saw a spider mite and I sprayed it. I'm honestly, every day I think more and more that I'm going to turn to predatory pests and mites and such, because spraying is just, it always ends up bad. Like, the leaves just can't handle it. They get burned. So I know a lot of people use this predatory mites, and I'm really, every day I lean more and more towards just getting some. But this plant is so beautiful. So this is my luxuriance, and every time I get it out of the cash pot, I see some bugs that look awfully suspicious in the water reservoir. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily thrips, but they look a whole lot like them. So I've been using N-All for my pest control issues, and it kills on contact. This stuff is good stuff. Oh, and it's working on a new leaf. I like to take the time when I'm watering my plants to look at them very closely, check for pests. I just like to look at them all the time anyways, really. This brings me so much peace. So this is my red crystallinum with luxuriance. It's all stained from the N-All, but like I said, I'd rather sacrifice a little look, a little leaf, if it means to keep my plant alive, they'll put out another leaf. It'll grow again, but it would be worse if it got consumed by pests. My Australis, I really want to pull this out of the cabinet. I just think that the notes could be a lot closer if she was getting a lot more light. I just don't know where I would put it. I really think it's time to give this plant a chop. Alright, let's shift to my other plant shelf that I think I don't show often. I have a lot of Hoyas here as well. So I mentioned previously that any new plant that I've been getting, I have not been putting it in the cabinet, so this is really where they're ending up. This is my Philodendron. This was one of those plants that was doing absolutely awful in high humidity, and I pulled it out of the cabinet and it's been just doing her thing. This is the only plant I have in a no drainage situation, and I have to say I absolutely hate it, but I also have not had the energy to take it out, so we're just gonna put it right back. And my lovely Hushkiliana. God, I love this plant so much. And it's doing great with the lower humidity. So I have a plant here that didn't make it to my Hoya tour because I got it after that video, but it's a plant that I'm very excited to have, and I'm praying it thrives in my care. So far things are a little they're a little questionable. So this is a Hoya Undulata. And this is a plant that I did a lot of research on just to find out that it's one of the hardest Hoyas to take care of. At least a lot of people report one of the hardest Hoyas to take care of. They require high humidity, a lot of heat, and they like to be more on the wetter side. They don't like to dry out. I removed it from a heating mat. So I originally had it on a heat mat, and it rooted great. It has a lot of roots, but I removed it because I had to have it in a place where I wasn't going to enjoy the plant, and I don't want to have my plants somewhere where I don't get to see them. I want to display them. I want to see them all the time. So for now, I have it hanging from my window until I figure something out for my Hoyas. I've really been thinking about getting a cabinet dedicated just for Hoyas. But this has been putting out leaves and dropping them, and I did see what looked like a spider mite. Usually they say that when Hoyas are dropping leaves, it could be pest related. If they kind of like come out and they don't finish growing, it could be pest related. So I sprayed it with End All, and I keep it in 100% humidity, but my last resort would be to bring it outside to my backyard. Since I live in Florida, I think that it could do very well outside, but that's my very, very last option. Like I said, I want to have my plants somewhere where I can enjoy them. I like to have them in my house displayed. So that will be my last option. You do want to air out your plants with 100% humidity because it can cause issues. They can rot. So every day I open the bag, I let her get some air, and then I zip it back up. My WILBUR Graves Russia is doing fantastic. It put out a new leaf and it's growing. I'm going to let this get a little longer before I try to put it on a trail. I don't want to take it out of the pot. I don't want to bother it anytime soon. I don't want to touch it. When I can no longer contain this, then I'll worry about putting it on a trellis. But for right now, I'm just going to let her do her thing. This is my HOYA Mathilde. I pulled it out of the cabinet as well to see if higher light could bring more variegation, because the splash is just pretty low on my Mathilde. So I want to give her a chance before I go and buy another one. This is also a new HOYA. This came with, what did this, oh, this came with a new Nova Ghost that I purchased on the US HOYA market. The seller was kind enough to send me an extra cutting. I'm not 100% sure of what this is. It almost looks like a Lacnosa leopard or something like that. If you know, please leave it in the comments, but I'm not 100% sure what this one is. This has to be my favorite HOYA. I know it's a very common HOYA, but the splash, it has my heart. And this is the new Nova Ghost that I got, because I'm not sure if the one leaf cutting that I have is going to make it, so I got a new one. It's got a beautiful splash. It came with some roots, so I went ahead and I potted it right away. I can't see a growth point yet, but I see some nice roots, so that's a great indication. As long as I don't overwater it, she's going to do just fine. Gosh, this poor thing is so root bound. It's a little embarrassing how root bound this is. So this is my SP Columbia, and it is extremely root bound. And I know this is a crawling philodendron, but it has not started to crawl, so that's why I haven't repotted it, because I'm not sure in what kind of pot I'm going to put her in. But I'm almost leaning towards just putting it in a regular plastic pot, because it's not crawling yet. And what if I can make her climb? You know, one can dream. I have another beauty that I want to show you that I think it's not a very common Anthurium. I bought this on a whim, one of those Equigenera sales. So this is my Anthurium Dracnopterum. Please don't come for me for my pronunciation, it's terrible, I know it. It was a perfect leaf, but I think that inconsistent watering can do that to anthuriums from what I've heard. And because I have it in a spot that I don't see quite often, I can easily forget to water it. But I had honestly chopped off all the leaves on this. I didn't love it when it got here. The leaves that it came with were hideous. So I chopped all of them, and I prayed that something will save her, and she put out this massive leaf, and she's been growing just fine. This has leca, it's got a little bit of sphagnum moss, it's got cocoa husk, perlite, charcoal, even a little bit of pond. So here I have a couple more philodendrons that are just quickly outgrowing my space. You guys saw this in my previous video. This is my philodendron delexii. I think it's doing good on water, so I'm not going to worry about that. This is an anthurium, but I forgot the name of it, and I cannot find my Ecuagenera invoice, but it has not thrived in my care. It's never put out a new leaf, but it's holding on to most of its leaves. I think that if I was to put it on a self-watering pot, it would do better, because in this situation I'm not sure when it needs water. Well, at least right now it needs water, so maybe I should water it. It has not put out a new leaf at all, and I really want it to thrive. Okay, next I have my Philodendron palorense. I don't love this plant. I'm gonna be honest, I don't love it. It looks so much better online. But I'm holding on to it because maybe when it's more mature, it will spark some joy. I have chopped it about 2 or 3 times to share with my family, and maybe that's why I haven't been able to enjoy a more mature plant. But that was another impulse buy from Ecuagenera that was affordable. This is my Philodendron luxurians. Interestingly enough, this is one of the very first plants I got. This was at an Ecuagenera pop-up here in Florida, North Florida. And I didn't acclimate this. I honestly didn't do any research on it. I didn't know that it's a little difficult to import. I think the reason why it did good in my care is because I didn't have to import it. I know that Ecuagenera has a location here in Florida, so it's possible it came from their nursery here in Florida, but it's been very good to me. This is my El Choco. I know it has a different name, but there's no way I'm going to pronounce that, so it's El Choco to me. This is the very first plant I imported since I started my collection here in this house. I imported before I even closed on my house because I knew I wanted to start my plant collection right away. And I didn't acclimate it. I didn't know how important it was to acclimate it. I kind of put it in water for a day, potted it up. I had actually made a video about how I repotted this after a year without repotting it, but I love this plant. It's got such a beautiful sheen. So pretty. I think that's all the watering I have to do. I will water the plants in my bedroom, but my baby's sleeping in there. I think this fern, that's not really a fern, needs some water though. This is also one of the first plants that I got in this house. It was so tiny. I'm gonna insert a picture of what it looked like when I first got it. And I love this plant. It's just so delicate, so dainty. Very, very low maintenance for me. Yeah, I think that's all the living room watering that I have to do. All right, yeah, it's a new day. I wanted to add chores of the plants in my bedroom because I haven't shown you all the plants that I have in my room, but the video was getting a little too long, so I'm going to leave that for another day. So make sure you subscribe and you hit the notification button for when I release those videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.